That screen is just too bright. The sun shines so bright in the sky. Wait, can I even call it the sun? I don't think it's the sun. Just a sun. Wait, actually. Okay, sorry about that. I unplugged my mic because I think it was acting a bit weird, I don't know. But I just needed to make sure that it was still using that one and not using the webcam audio because sometimes it switches like that. Okay. In front of me are the 3 siblings and... Eok! I greet him cheerfully. Greetings, princess, he says with a smile. It feels like it's been ages since I last saw him. Didn't you see him like 2 days ago? I didn't expect this many people to join, says Caleb, looking a bit troubled. How dare you leave the palace without taking me with you? You know I get bored out of my skull in this place, Lana complains. That's because you're not allowed to go out either, Caleb stresses. Why isn't she allowed to go out? The both of you shut your mouth holes, James grunts in an annoyed tone. Don't you pick that tone with me, says Lana, her eyebrows lowered. You rarely take me out anymore, James. Where has that sweet boy gone? I awkwardly stand in the middle of all of this. It seems Caleb got permission to take me out, but James is coming with us to supervise, and somehow Lana tagged along. Maybe Jams? No, I'm just gonna say James. Eok, are you coming with us as a guard? I ask. That be so, he answers. Lana waves her hand in the air. I always need a guard around me if I go anywhere. We can't have you running off on your own, says Caleb. Are you insinuating I don't have the mind to follow some simple rules? That's exactly what I'm... Enough, James bellows, clearly agitated by their conversation. Yes, Lana, it is no time to squabble. We are taking the princess out and returning before sunset, that is all, says Caleb, as if he's on a mission. What happens if we don't make it back before sunset? I ask. Heads will roll, James answers. I clamp my mouth shut, getting the message. Stay close and move out, he commands. And you, he points at me, don't leave my sight. Whatever, Grumpy. While the palace has been nothing but breathtaking at times, being down in the streets gives me a much better sense of their culture. There's colourful stalls everywhere. Oh no. Fuck, how did you say this word again? Gout. Whatever, are walking about, holding large baskets of woven straw, some of them carrying metal pots and pans. Everyone is constantly on the move. Some of the architecture reminds me of Earth, but then it is distinctly different as well. The streets are crowded, and the 4 of us stand out like a sore thumb. It's clear to me that the Gout live and breathe on this planet like it's their home. The siblings are a completely different race. I wonder if they have their own city someplace else. I haven't been out to the market in ages, Lana coos as she examines one of the stores filled with trinkets. Let's keep it that way, says James. You know you're under surveillance. Why is Lana under surveillance? I finally ask. My curiosity has been burning ever since I met Lana and came to find out what the jewelry on her arm meant. Don't speak, says James, dismissing me. Don't tease the poor princess. She's merely curious, says Lana. Lana has the tendency to run away, Caleb interjects. Well, that's just a blatant lie. The 3 of them continue to ignore my actual question and argue amongst themselves. Eok seems to be tuning out the conversation. Even he can't bear it that much longer. Princess, stick close with us. The streets aren't entirely safe, Caleb warns me once he's done arguing with Lana. But everything looks so inviting, it's lifting up my spirits to be outside the palace for once. Yes, lately there have been cases of rebels attacking the city folk, James explains. Rebels? I had no idea. Everything seems so peaceful. Don't you worry about a thing. We've got 2 well-trained captains and a soldier to protect us. A little bomb here or there won't hurt us, says Lana nonchalantly. Eok protect, he says happily. Suddenly, I'm on alert. Bombs? Okay, the streets don't look so inviting anymore. I end up gravitating towards Eok as a personal shield. I didn't realize the city had rebels, I mumble quietly. I figured this was a strictly run planet under Veritas' rule. I guess he's got some opposition as well. Pests, nothing more. They are merely an annoyance, says James, seemingly not concerned. Are they dangerous or are they an annoyance? Which is it? I ask, noting the discrepancy between Caleb's earlier statement. Princess, relax, breathe in the air, enjoy the sights, Lana chirps in with a gorgeous smile. Well, I'd like to, but I also don't want to get blown up. Not on my watch. You are safe, Princess. Caleb gives me a curt bow. Shouldn't you be keeping me safe? Lana points out with a pout. I am your oldest sister. You're also my only sister. Even more reason to treat me better. I tune out their banter when a shimmer catches my eye. A piece of fabric glistening in the sun. It's such a gorgeous orange color, decorated with the most detailed lace I've ever seen before. My feet can't stop themselves as I'm attracted to the stall with the rolls of fabric lying about. I've never seen these patterns at home before. They take my breath away. The craftsmanship really shines through. They must have spent hundreds of hours to finish this hand-woven piece of fabric. I'm in awe. I end up taking out my phone and quickly snapping a few pictures on the market of the market. Only 1% remaining. It's on its last leg. Then I'm back to gushing about the fabric. My mind goes into overdrive. What kind of material is it made out of? What does the texture feel like against my skin? Is it heavy? Airy? Does it change color in a certain light? So many questions. I have to know. See anything you like? Asks the shopkeeper. 2 pieces of ugalt per kroon. I want to ask what an ugalt and kroon are, but I'm rudely shoved aside. Didn't I tell you not to leave my sight? A voice hisses in my ear, clearly belonging to James. I am still in your sight, am I not? I answer plainly. I didn't go that far. I can still spy the others right behind us. Don't get pedantic with me. You are not allowed to leave my side. Possessive, I drawl out, not caring. I just want to get my hands on that gorgeous fabric. This has nothing to do with being possessive. I need you to stay close before I'm forced to put you in chains. He pauses briefly. In fact, that is sounding like the better option here. No thanks, I huff. A hurried gout pushes past me, bumping me into James. Earthlings have feeble feet, James complains. Hey, I got pushed by someone, I argue back. Then, with our close proximity to each other, James leans in even more and takes a whiff. Oh my god. Leave my period alone, dude. No, don't tell me. I cleaned myself before coming here. There's no way he notices it. I smell blood, princess. His voice is so close to my ear, like a low whisper. What are you hiding? Why do these people have such an amazing sense of smell? This is ridiculous. Let me period in peace. It's none of your business, I mutter. James clearly doesn't like my answer and forcefully grabs my wrist, keeping me close. Speak. Why do you smell of blood? His voice raises and his tone is sharp. Embarrassed by his loud voice, I avert my eyes. Everyone around us is starting to stare. Do I really have to explain myself? It's nothing. It's a normal human thing, I mumble. James slowly releases my wrist, but he doesn't look all that convinced. Human thing? He drawls out. My face colors slightly. Yes, a female thing. It's nothing. I'm okay. Please stop bringing it up. You are hiding something. Oh my god, you're so obnoxious. Yes, my really disgusting bloodstained panties. Just please, let me buy some fabric so I can deal with my issue. James's brown eyes dart over towards the stall with the rolls of fabric. You wish to purchase fabric? He asks, genuinely sounding confused. If I'm allowed to. Caleb says I could. Wait, I need to... We're in a new area, I need a new screenshot. That's Captain Caleb. He corrects me with a hiss. It's hard to keep remembering that I have to address people by their title. Right, my mistake. Captain Caleb said he'd buy garments for me as an apology for yesterday's actions. I recall not a hair on your body being harmed yesterday, he points out with arms crossed in an intimidating manner. I made sure of that. That's right, James took that spear for me. It would have sliced right through me otherwise. I guess I ought to thank him for that. But my pride and stubbornness are not so easily overcome. In my mind, everything is his fault in the first place, because it is. However, my conscience is nagging at me. He did save my life. You did a good job, I end up saying. James looks at me weirdly. Good job? Yeah, for blocking that spear for me. It is not my job to block anything for you, he hisses. I am not your personal guard. No, he certainly is not. He's my personal kidnapper instead. Anyways, I'd like to go look at some of the fabric, I say, changing the subject. Not only do I want to make some underwear for my period, but I would also love to have the fabric in the first place. I want to study their techniques. It is an alien planet, after all. James lazily flicks his hand, throwing me a small pouch which I catch. Inside are a few brightly coloured gems. Go on. You're allowed no more than 5 ugalt. That's Captain Caleb's budget for you. Excited, I finally start inspecting the stall for real this time. I have no clue how much an ugalt is worth, but if I can get my hands on something, I'll be happy. The sparkling rolls of cloth all vie for my attention. For the briefest moment, I forget my situation, my surroundings. Instead, I'm focused on all the options in front of me, the countless ways I could use them. Designs start spinning through my mind, outfits supers could wear. Perhaps some casual attire. Earthlings must be obsessed with shiny materials, James mentions when he sees me reaching for a sparkling roll. I won't deny that seeing something shiny is appealing, I admit. Of course, you have feeble minds. Simpletons. When am I supposed to start falling in love with this guy? Hey, there's no reason to insult me. I'm not insulting you, I'm discussing the Earthling race. That's the same thing, and there's no Earthling race. We're humans. People. I don't call you an alien either. Yes, I recall many other words being uttered from your mouth hole, some obscene words. And you deserved every single one of them. Humans, you say. James gazes down at the fabric on the stall, though he doesn't seem to care for them much. But they all excrete blood from their nether regions. I feel the tips of my ears turn red. He can smell my period and where it's coming from. This is almost invasive. Can't I have some privacy? I just want to make period panties and then cry in bed. With as much grace and dignity that I have, I shake my head. No, just the ones with the uterus, I explain. Your race seems defective. Not everyone can heal up holes like you can. In fact, do you even have a bruise where the spear impaled you? I can't tell at all. Oops, shit. I clicked a button. I stare at his shoulder, but he's been moving it like normal. Curious, aren't you? I don't want to admit it. I don't want to admit I am, but I totally am. James slides his shoulder out of his robe, giving me a peek of his injury. Except I see nothing at all. His skin is as smooth as butter, no discoloration to be seen either. What? There's nothing. No, not a trace. I'm perplexed. But you have scars. How come your wound vanished completely, but still have so many scars left on your body? James puts the robe back on. Rahu's accelerated healing doesn't start until they're older, he explains. You mean to say you got these when you were young? Enough questions. Pick your garments so we can move on, he says grumpily. I can't help but think about it. The scars on his back, the one on his chest and arm. He sustained these when he was younger, possibly a child. Caleb's got a scar over his eye that turned him blind. Was he a child too? Pick one, James urges me. All right. I select 2 fine pieces of cloth, a teal and orange one. They're both so gorgeous. With James's help, I pay the vendor their fee. Turns out 5 pieces of ugalt gives me a lot of length in return. I even have gems left over. There's so much fabric, I'm handed a basket to carry it all in. And it's heavy too. Finally, now we can head back to the palace with the others. The both of us look back to where we left the rest, but spot no one there. James remains uncharacteristically quiet as he scans the crowd for any signs of them. Actually, I did find it a little strange that no one came to join us, but I guess I was too engrossed with the fabric to really pay attention to them. I look over the crowd as well, but honestly I can't find them either. My eyesight is much better than James, I believe, but I don't spy them anywhere. It's like they simply left us. Where did they go? I ask. James mumbles something under his breath and starts taking some strides towards the middle of the street. Hey, don't leave me behind, I cry out, suddenly worried about being left alone. James stands still and takes out a device from his pouch. I catch up to him and look at the circular device. It's the one that had the map of the palace with the coloured dots. Except this time the map has changed. It seems to be a plan of the streets we're in, like it's GPS. There's a single dot on the screen. James makes eye contact with mine. That's my dot. It's pointing at me and only me. Putrid mother's nutsack, he curses. What the f... There's no time for explanations as James grabs my wrist and pulls me into the crowd. I hold onto my basket for dear life. What's wrong? I ask, though I think I know the answer. We've lost sight of the rest, but it seems James can't track them either. James doesn't answer me as he pulls me along the crowd, not caring who he bumps into or if I stumble along the way. At this point, you'd think flying would be better. Hey, slow down, I call out to him as I nearly trip over my own feet. However, James pays no attention to my calls. He's hyper-focused on looking for our companions. James ends up bumping into someone with a huge cart. Fresh produce spills onto the ground and people stop to help. Out of my way, he hisses as everyone blocks his path. Seeing as everyone is taking their time to forge a way out for us, James ends up losing his patience. He pulls me into his chest and wraps his muscular arm around my waist. Oh, he's so buff. I shriek loudly when he launches us into the sky. I cling onto him, afraid I'll fall. The wind rushes past us, and it's making it difficult to keep my fabric from flying out of the basket. James hangs in the air, stopping to look down at the city below us. Oh boy, we're really high up. This is triggering a sense of fear for heights that I never knew I had. I look away from the city, my cheek pressed against James's bare chest. Thump, thump. Oh, it's that, like, rhythm again or whatever. My ears catch the heartbeat rhythm again. It's much louder now that I'm pushed up against him like this. That means it wasn't just my imagination last time. His heartbeat really does sound like this. It's an almost soothing rhythm, distracting me from the fact we're up in the air. When James growls in frustration, the trance is broken. I tilt my head to see him look over the city in agitation. It seems he can't find them, despite the high vantage point. Gathering my courage, I gaze down into the streets of the city. I see it all. The gout walking about, the fabric store we were at before, even other landmarks I haven't been to yet. It shouldn't be too hard to spot them. Caleb and Lana definitely stand out from the rest. That is, if they're outside. I don't have x-ray eyes like a certain superhero does. I can't look through walls. That's Superboy. But then I see the shimmer of Lana's blue hair in an alley. I found her. I point at her location. There she is. There's Princess Lana, I tell James. James follows my finger and narrows his eyes, straining to see her. For a second it looks like he's going to call me a liar, but then Lana steps into our view and he immediately recognizes her. I see she's with Eok as well. I hang onto his shoulders as he flies straight towards her, not even wasting a second. When we get closer, I can tell they haven't spotted us yet. I don't see Caleb with them. Where is he? Shouldn't he be with them? They're both hidden away in an alley, talking among themselves. They're having an affair with Eok. James finally flies in close enough to park us on the ground again. Lana's eyes grow wide when she spots James. He releases me and marches his way over to Lana. What is the meaning of this? He demands to know. Where is your tracker? James, it was stolen, she cries out. Stolen? He spits out, finding it unbelievable. Where's the captain? Thief took Jules. Captain Caleb, go catch thief, Eok explains. And you? Why didn't you come find me? He now directs his anger towards Eok. Eok, protect Princess Lana, he says meekly. By taking her away from me? Calm down your temper, James. We got separated at the market. Eok is keeping me safe. Why don't you make yourself useful and find that thief that stole my armlet? James takes out the tracker once more and looks at it. I can tell there's still only one dot on the screen. Stolen or destroyed? He asks in this foreboding tone, because I cannot track you anymore. Lana doesn't look particularly concerned. Oh, I guess maybe the thief broke it. Who knows? Anything could have happened. The issue at hand is that this shouldn't happen in the first place. You are without a tracker. This is unacceptable. It's not like it's my fault, you know, Lana complains. Stay here. Eok, make sure the two of them don't wander off anywhere. I shall go find Captain Caleb. James doesn't even wait for a response as he launches into the sky, dirt rising up from the ground as he goes. I end up coughing and sneezing when the dust tickles my nose. You sure found us fast, Lana mumbles. It wasn't the captain, Eok explains. He then looks over at me. Princess has good eyes, yes? Lana suddenly looks interested as she raises her head to finally acknowledge me as well. Is that so? She drawls out. I look down at the basket I'm holding on to. Yes, I spotted you when Captain James took off into the sky. You sure are holding back all these fun little surprises. Peculiar earthling. Revealing everything I have up my sleeve isn't very smart when I'm in enemy territory, I explain. Lana laughs out loud, her eyes lighting up. Clever, very clever. You are most certainly correct. There's a seductive smile on her face. Everyone's got a thing or two they wish to keep secret from everyone else. She then taps her fingers on my basket. Like this. What are you holding there? Oh, this? It's fabric. I can't help but grin. Lana is clearly confused, though. Fabric? You mean a dress, right? Something dazzling, I'm sure. No, it's just fabric. Skirt? Robe? Oh, how do you say that word again? I don't know how to say that word. Are you ready? It's going to be loud. Oh, I need to let my cat in.
Chemise.
Chemise.
Chemise. Oops. No. I don't want to play a plant video. What the hell? I'm going to listen to an actual audio recording. I'm sorry. It's so bright.
Chemise.
Chemise. Okay, chemise. 1 second. Okay. It's chemise. Let's get a skirt, robe, chemise. You could have gotten any number of extraordinary garments in this market, but you chose... She points her long finger at my basket. Fabric. I'm not in the game. Earthlings must like cloth, Eok butts in. No, it's just me. I like making clothes. In fact, Immediately I shut up. I was about to run off my mouth and tell them that I'm a fashion designer with her own boutique. That's definitely not what a princess should be doing. I should be more careful. In my spare time, I like tinkering with pieces of fabric. I quickly correct myself. Lana strokes her hand across the blue fabric while humming to herself. Tinkering, you say? You know, I'm quite curious about Earthlings' fashion. Sometimes it gets too stuffy in the outfits they have over here. It'd be nice to see something new for once. Would you like me to create something for you? I ask, my designer senses tingling. She's got the perfect body to make clothes for. She is hot. You're right about that. That won't do. Don't you think you should be spending your little gift on yourself? It's alright. I've gotten way too much anyway. What do you think, Eok? Should the princess create Earthling fashion for me? Eok looks confused and out of place. Yes, he says, a little unsure, gauging our reactions. If no trouble. No trouble at all. In fact, it would be a nice distraction from everything else, I admit. You know, there is an upcoming marker next Noonan, she mentions. Will Princess Lana participate? Asks Eok, suddenly curious. Participate? I'll lead it, she says excitedly. I try and keep up with the conversation, but some words aren't being translated for me. I know Nunun might be a passage of time. James said we'd be returning to Earth in 3 Nununs, however long that is. Months, right? Months. I think it's months. Which is a long time to be here. What's Marka? I ask. It's a proud celebration of Gaut culture, explains Eok, held in palace. Yes, and I would love to wear something special for the occasion, she chirps. Something easy to move around in. Like a dancing outfit. Before Lana can respond, the 3 of us are shook to our core as an ear-deafening blast fills the sky. Our surroundings quake and tremble. In the distance, smoke rises to the top. I can hear shouting and screaming. My heartbeat rises through the roof. It drums against my chest. Lana and Eok don't look too concerned, but I find myself clam up. Ashes fall from the sky, and a scent of burning wood and flesh mixes into the air. It's stirring up my memories. Oh no, she's like scared of fire, isn't she? I assume it has something to do with her parents. They died in a fire or something. Maybe James's people had something to do with it. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. Like, I knew that somehow I got the method wrong on how James was going to come on this little trip, but I knew he would come because he has to, because he's the freaking love interest, so yeah. It would be weird if they were like, here, spend a whole day or a whole scene with Caleb when he's not even your love interest, even though he's the superior version. I'm sorry, but James is doing nothing for me right now. I'm waiting to change my mind though, because this is still relatively early on. The smoke, the ash, the fire. Embers cascade downwards as the fire blazes strong. No, Kane was involved. Okay. No, Kane shrieks. Mom, Dad, I yell at the top of my lungs. Mom, Dad, Kane screams. They're all in there, I scream and run towards the fire. Eric holds me back. Valkii, Kane, no. Please don't chase them into the fire. Eric begs us with tears running down his face. What are you talking about? They're in there. We have to go get them, I say in a panicked voice. Ah, Kane's entire body sparks with electricity. I fall to the ground wailing, hopelessly watching the fire burn. Then I'm brought back to reality with another loud blast from the distance. Princess, are you alright? Lana asks me. Huh? I say, finding my voice. I'm sweating profusely. My fight or flight senses are going into overdrive. I'm getting heart palpitations. You've been catatonic this entire time. It's hard to focus. The smell is overwhelming. I have to get out of here. Is the city under attack? I ask, scared and confused, gripping my basket tightly. Rebels, is all she says. My senses are running ahead of me as I can't help but make an immediate parallel to Julio back on Earth, the terrorist group. We have to get to safety if the city is under attack. Not a second later, James makes a grand entrance, landing on the ground with a large boom. Dust kicks up everywhere. We leave. Now. A moment later, Caleb joins us. He was right on James's tail. He steps over towards Lana and takes her hand. Time to strategically retreat. He then flies off with her. James doesn't even wait until I'm prepared and takes me by my waist, launching off as well. What about Eok? I screech as I see him get left behind. Eok will manage, perhaps, Eok yells after us. We all arrive at the palace once more, my feet finally touching the ground. But I'm still holding on to James. I'm shaking profusely. Soldiers are marching out of the main gate towards the streets, perhaps to quell the rebellion. James pushes me away from him and walks towards Lana. I'm nauseous from the flying, but also completely anxious and terrified with what happened. We left Eok behind. You'll go to Healer Bilius this instant and get another tracker. Don't let Lord Veritas see you like this. Don't fret so much. I'm sure he's too busy being briefed about the explosion just now. Now, Lana, he growls. I'll take her. Let's go. Caleb takes her hand again and they fly off together. Can Lana not fly? Why is she not special? What about Eok? I ask, worried for his safety. We left him down there. I can't leave someone else behind again. I just can't. He could be in danger. We need to go back and get him. One grunt's life doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, he explains, annoyed. Eok can take care of himself. He's a soldier. Eok is your responsibility, I yell at him. Anger bubbles up inside of me. I can't let him leave Eok behind. My cat's being naughty. Okay, he's fine. Why do you care all of a sudden? He snaps at me. Because Eok saved me from a certain death. He's been nothing but kind to me, not to mention he protected your sister. I go off at him. And he's part of your platoon, your division or whatever. Should a captain not look out for his crew? He's being bad. I don't know if you can hear that over my voice, but he's being bad. I glare at him with all my might. He really is the scum of the universe if he doesn't go back to save him. Or are you going to let him perish just like you did with Geroed on the spaceship? A myriad of expressions crosses over his face. Anger, annoyance, indignation. He's livid. But no words exit his mouth. He's quiet, seething on the inside. Please, surely you can go back to get him. You're shaking, he states, noticing I've been trembling all this time. I don't do well with fire, and I certainly won't let anyone die in one. Please, you're his captain. If the weak can't save themselves and perish, then so be it, he mutters. Your sister can't fly. Should she perish too? I snap at him. A long stretch of silence. His eyes gaze upon me like I'm an insignificant pest, a thorn in his side, but I know I'm right. Don't think I haven't noticed Lana's distinct lack of flying. Caleb had to carry her back. She could have been left down there just like Eok, but we didn't. He closes his eyes, biting down on his bottom lip as he clenches his hands into fists. For a moment, I think he might actually hit me to teach me a lesson about shutting up. And slowly but surely, blue markings weave into his skin. They pop up like a glowing river. When he opens his eyes again, they're blue this time. Shining, hypnotizing. Power simply radiates off his body in this state. He's phased. He doesn't say a word. His posture is so imposing. He's ready for battle. But then he blasts off into the sky, debris swirling around and kicking up a storm. When he's up high, he creates a sonic boom as he changes direction. It hasn't even been 2 seconds and he's already out of my sight. I'm left a little perplexed, but also slightly impressed. Did I get through to him? Is he going to get Eok? My eyes are on the lookout for a flying person in the sky. My heart is still drumming along with adrenaline. But the soldiers around me ignore my entire existence until there's none left. They've all marched out of the gates. I'm unsure what's unfolding. I just hope Eok will be safe. That dreadful feeling of losing someone to an explosion. I don't ever want to feel it again. A loud noise and blast knock me off my feet and I stumble around trying to keep my balance. Where's your basket? When the dust settles, I see James flinging Eok onto the ground. This is what I do. This is like a big problem that I have with writing sometimes, is that I make a note that a character is holding something. Like a gun or a phone. Like their mobile phone. And then they're still holding it, but I have to really make sure that I like mention putting it down or something, you know what I mean? It's like, because then the reader may question, like they may get a weird image in their mind. Okay, so imagine someone's got their flashlight on their phone, they're holding it with one hand, probably this hand if they're, depending on which is their dominant hand. They've got the gun, okay, gun in the right hand, I'm right-handed. gun in the right hand, flashlight in the other. And when you want to, when you've decided an area is safe, you put down the gun. Or, I did something very similar in a scene in a story I wrote. I made sure to put down the phone so that they could hold the gun with both hands. I made sure to say that. But then it's like it's like a battle between, I know this is like such a tangent. It's like a battle between, should I explain that it's not in the hand anymore, or should the reader be intelligent or just whatever enough to know that they're not holding it anymore if they're doing something else, you know? I don't know. I think my cat wants to go out. He's being very annoying. When the dust settles, I see James flinging Eok onto the ground. Well, you could have placed him down. It seems the princess deemed it necessary to confirm your safety and whereabouts, he tells Eok. His markings dim and his eye colour returns as he phases back to normal. You worry far too much about weaklings. It's the order and nature of the universe. Only the strong will survive. Those that need handouts are going to die sooner or later. Eok groans as he tries to get up, but seems a little disoriented. I think he must have gotten nauseous from the flying, just like me. The amount of relief that washes over me is so great, I almost well up with tears. I feel like hugging him. Helping the weak isn't doing them any favours, he scoffs. I don't even care what James is saying right now. Eok, I exclaim and rush towards him. I'm sorry. I'm so glad. I help him get up on his feet. He's a little out of it still. Eok, no assistance need, he says, a bit sluggish. See, James remarks, our soldiers are perfectly capable of looking after themselves. Princess worry too much about Eok. Eok only grunt, he says sheepishly, but he is smiling though. I don't care, you're safe. That's good, I say with a smile. I gratefully look over towards James. I don't want to say it, especially not after his small villain monologue about only the strong surviving, but I have to let him know what he did was the right choice. Thank you for going back. Ignoring my thanks, James huffs loudly. Now that we've rescued this miserable runt, you should be heading back to your chambers. I've got so many questions though. What's going on down in the city? I saw a bunch of soldiers deploy, so are we in some kind of civil war? Are we safe in the palace? But I've already pressed my luck with James just now. I should take one victory at a time. At least Eok is accounted for. Eok, escort the princess back to her chambers. I left a cupboard open and he's going in there. Yes, Captain. Complying this time around, I grab my basket of fabric and follow Eok back inside of the palace. Hopefully there will be no more explosions today. I hate being reminded of my parents' deaths. Okay. Very bright screen. I will see you in the next one.